girl who had been flown to the United States without parental supervision or a chaperone, brought to a grown man's office in a large corporate Manhattan building. Everybody knew when she flew in. I was there the day she got signed. Everyone was talking about it. And the 6 hours that she spent with him, and the 4 hours that she spent alone with him with no parental supervision. Her father didn't show up till the next day to come and collect the check.
I met a producer in Barbados who was vacationing there because his wife is from there. So he was vacationing there one time, and my friend who knows him, she wanted me to meet with him. So in a nutshell, I went to his hotel room, I sang for him, and he was impressed. So he invited me out to his studio to do some recording, and we recorded for like a year back and forth. Then we finally put a demo together. We sent it to a few labels, and Def Jam happened. We were the first label to call back. They were the most enthusiastic about everything. So we set up a meeting with Jay-Z, and I met with him, and he was very impressed by the audition.
The air in Manhattan feels heavy, like it's soaked in secrets and whispered scandals. Every skyscraper seems to breathe ambition and betrayal, wrapping the city in a haze of power plays and broken promises. Years ago, behind those glittering windows, a story played out that looked like a fairy tale gone wrong. A princess, a prince, and a monster. But guess what? The parts we thought we knew were all mixed up. Everyone thought they knew the tale. Rihanna, the innocent girl from Barbados, lifted into the spotlight by Jay-Z, the wise mentor. Then came Chris Brown, painted as the cold-hearted villain who shattered the dream. It's the story we've all seen plastered across magazines, documentaries, and interviews. But what if that entire story was never real? What if it was all smoke and mirrors hiding something way darker? Picture this, a 15-year-old girl stepping off a plane alone, clutching her dreams tighter than her suitcase. Rihanna, no family by her side, no one watching over her, just her hopes and a contract waiting to change everything.
Well, and
This is her life.
The rumors were even beyond that, right? That Jay-Z was cheating on Beyonce with her when she was
Very much
17
so.
is what a lot of this came out through a publicist who later then
Have
had
you
to
spoken
apologize.
to my friend Jonathan? Hey, you should talk to Jonathan.
The city lights glowed like promises, but not all promises are kind. Late at night, she's taken to a sleek, silent office, air conditioning humming like it's holding its breath. Somewhere in that stillness, she meets Jay-Z, the music king who controls the doors to the empire she's dying to enter. They call it an audition, but to her, it feels more like a test she can't afford to fail, one where the cost of saying no might be higher than anyone ever knew. The pressure is crushing. Every breath feels like it could make or break everything. Rihanna starts to sing, her voice trembling just enough to show her nerves, but that raw power cuts through the air like lightning. Jay-Z watches without a flicker of emotion, his presence alone filling the room with quiet authority. Then comes the offer, slick, polished, and wrapped up like a golden ticket. Sign this and the world is yours, or walk away and watch your dreams disappear. It's not a choice, it's a trap dressed as a promise.
I had 3 victims that I've been working with, victims of the Carters, that were ready to come forward. This might help them feel a little more confident now. So this is great.
That contract isn't an opportunity, it's a lifeline dangled over an open pit. Rihanna signs it, pen shaking, and before the ink even dries, the machine kicks into motion. She's instantly swept up, rebranded, styled, molded into the image the industry wants. From then on, everything moves fast. Photo shoots, recording sessions, endless parties. But behind the camera flashes hides a darker truth that no one dares to say out loud. At just 15, she's surrounded by people twice her age, the lines between work and life fading until they don't exist. The parties keep getting bigger, the nights longer, and the whispers louder. People start talking, rumors swirling about Rihanna and Jay-Z, a mentor dynamic that starts looking way too personal. The industry hears it all and looks the other way. No one wants to ruin the brand or lose their spot at the table. And anyone who even thinks about speaking up, gone. Careers crushed, reputations wrecked, names erased. The music world runs on silence, and Rihanna, knowingly or not, gets pulled deeper into the gears of that machine that feeds on youth, fame, and secrets. Then enters Chris Brown, the spark that turns into a wildfire. Their relationship burns hot, fast, and dangerous, a mix of passion and pain that spirals out of control. When that photo hits the internet, Rihanna's face bruised, swollen, broken, it shocks the entire world. The image becomes a symbol, a painful reminder of what domestic violence looks like when fame can't hide it. Everyone gasps, everyone points. Chris Brown is branded the monster, the villain who destroyed a star on the rise. But here's the question that still lingers. Was he the only monster in this twisted tale? Or was he just the one the world was meant to see? Because while all eyes locked on Chris, something deeper was being hidden in plain sight. The narrative gets polished and packaged. Rihanna becomes the face of survival, the embodiment of strength and resilience. Every headline, every talk show, every hashtag feeds the story the industry wants told. Meanwhile, the real power players stay in the shadows, hands clean, smiles intact, quietly pulling strings to make sure the truth stays buried. The world's attention stays glued to the drama between Rihanna and Chris, just as planned. The spotlight never drifts toward Jay-Z, the one figure whose influence looms over every step of her story. Then comes that 2009 Diane Sawyer interview, a performance that feels raw and real, yet so perfectly staged, it almost feels rehearsed. Rihanna talks about forgiveness, love, and the confusion that comes with pain, but beneath her calm words, there's something colder, like someone playing their part in a script written long before the camera started rolling. She's not just telling her truth, she's building it, shaping every word like a weapon. Every pause, every phrase sounds too smooth, too measured, like it's been rehearsed 100 times. I am strong. This happened to me. I didn't cause this. Those lines hit hard, but they don't sound raw. They sound crafted. This isn't the shaky voice of someone lost in trauma. It's the tone of someone trained to control the story. Her words paint Chris Brown as more than an abuser. They turn him into a public threat, a symbol of danger to every woman watching. It's a smart, ruthless move. Suddenly, it's not just about one violent night. It's about protecting all women from a monster, and the world listens. The tears, the strength, the perfectly timed vulnerability. It's media gold. The message spreads everywhere, and the timing, too perfect to be coincidence. Right when Chris Brown starts trying to rebuild his image, to apologize, to show growth, to find some kind of redemption, Rihanna's interview drops like a bomb. Every attempt he makes to explain gets buried under a tidal wave of outrage. The headlines scream, the fans turn their backs, and just like that, his career flatlines. He's the monster forever branded by one night the world will never forget. But here's the part that no one asks. Who taught her to play the media game like that? Who showed her how to flip pain into power and tragedy into strategy? Someone had to teach her how to turn heartbreak into headlines. And when you look closer, the shadow behind that script always seems to trace back to one man, the one who discovered her, built her image, and may have done far more than anyone dares to say out loud. Jay-Z. That interview wasn't just a confession, it was a show. Every tear, every pause, every vulnerable moment was part of a performance crafted for survival. Rihanna wasn't just speaking, she was performing her role in a system that feeds on silence and rewards obedience. She became the perfect image of a victim, while Chris Brown was cast as the perfect villain, an easy target for a world hungry for someone to blame. But behind the spotlight, the truth twists into something way more tangled and way more chilling. This wasn't just about two young stars caught in chaos. It was part of a larger pattern, a ruthless system that cleans house whenever someone becomes a threat to Jay-Z's empire. DeHaven, Dame Dash, Aaliyah, Kathy White, names whispered like ghost stories around the industry. One by one, they vanished from the scene, their careers and lives wrecked or erased. Chris Brown, just the latest warning shot, a public example of what happens when someone crosses the wrong line. And through it all, the industry stays quiet. Every executive, every artist, every insider plays dumb, pretending not to see what's right in front of them. They trade their morals for safety because speaking up means losing everything. The music machine protects its own. The bigger the name, the deeper the silence. But secrets never stay buried forever. Slowly, the cracks start to show. Rumors whisper through studios and green rooms, then leak online like smoke from a hidden fire. The fairy tale begins to crumble, exposing the twisted machinery underneath. And suddenly, Rihanna isn't just the innocent princess anymore. She's something far more complicated, maybe even dangerous. A carefully molded weapon in a game that's been rigged from the start. She could never truly figure Beyoncé out, the so-called feminist powerhouse, the global symbol of female empowerment, standing tall but trapped inside her own golden cage. Behind the flawless image and polished smile hides a woman who knows too much. She's seen the truth, the ugly, twisted side of her husband's world, the rumors, the young women caught in his orbit, the quiet devastation left in his shadow. Yet she says nothing, not a single word, but her silence isn't about fear, it's strategy. Beyoncé's silence is power, disguised as grace. Every time she stays quiet, the empire she shares with Jay-Z grows stronger, richer, more untouchable. She's not just surviving in the system, she's profiting from it. Each scandal buried, each rumor silenced, adds another diamond to her crown. The industry rewards her loyalty, handing her trophies and headlines that crown her as the queen, while the darker truth hides beneath the glitter. Still, the question lingers. What's the cost of that silence? What's the real price of protecting the throne? The elevator footage gave the world a quick, shocking peek behind the curtain. Solange, her sister, couldn't take it anymore. She snapped, attacking Jay-Z in that now infamous moment caught on camera. It wasn't random. It was years of anger boiling over, an act of rebellion against control that had gone too far. But the machine moved fast, spinning the story, rewriting reality before anyone could blink. Suddenly, Solange was unstable, the emotional one, while Jay-Z played the calm, stoic victim, letting the world believe he was the one under attack. It was genius manipulation. That one moment became another lesson in how power rewrites truth. And Rihanna? She watched it all like a student taking notes. She saw how loyalty is rewarded, how rebellion gets erased, and how the story always bends toward whoever controls the narrative. She learned exactly how the game is played and what it takes to survive it. Rihanna takes every lesson to heart, studying the way power moves, the way silence protects, and the way truth can be twisted into myth. She knows one day she'll need to guard the empire she's now a part of. Years pass, and then Beyoncé drops Daughter on her Cowboy Carter album, a track that sends chills down people's spines. The lyrics drip with eerie imagery and cryptic confessions. Your body laid out on these filthy floors. Your bloodstains on my custom couture fans lose their minds. What's she really saying here? Is it just art or something darker hiding between the lines? Theories explode online. Some whisper it's a coded confession, a subtle nod to the mysterious death of Kathy White, the woman rumored to have had a child with Jay-Z. Did Beyoncé know more than she ever let on? Did she play a role in keeping certain secrets buried? Nobody dares to answer out loud, but the speculation spreads like wildfire. And through it all, the Carters stay completely silent. No statements, no denials, nothing. Their empire stands tall, untouched, built on silence, image, and money thicker than concrete. But that silence, it's starting to sound like guilt to a lot of people. Now whispers are turning into voices. People once too scared to speak are finally coming forward. The stories are connecting. The cracks in the machine getting wider. That perfect image the Carters built is starting to crumble piece by piece under the pressure of buried truths trying to surface. The question burns. How long can this powerful machine keep running while so many inside it are crushed beneath the weight of silence? How long will this glittering empire, dressed up as empowerment, keep hiding what really goes on behind closed doors? The answer lies in the courage of those who dare to pull back the curtain, to speak truth to power, to expose the rot buried beneath the gold and glamour. The stage is ready, every player in position, and the final act of this story is about to begin. Rihanna's evolution is complete. The scared 15-year-old girl who once trembled under the neon lights is long gone. In her place stands a sharp, commanding powerhouse, a billionaire, a cultural force, and a master at controlling her own narrative. She studied under the greatest manipulators, learning every move about power, image, and survival. She's not the victim anymore. She's the weapon. Every deal she signs, every brand she builds carries that same precision and ruthless focus she once feared. Her billion-dollar beauty line and fashion empire aren't just trophies, they're armor, a glossy shield that protects her from criticism and reinforces the legend of the self-made queen. Fans see a goddess, untouchable, unstoppable. Her every post celebrated like scripture. But behind the flawless brand and luxury facade, something darker still breathes. Rumors keep swirling, stories of control, emotional strain, and a life lived under the constant watch of those who manage every move, yet nobody dares to call it out. The power surrounding her is too strong. the stakes way too high. She's protected by a circle of loyalists, insiders who guard her truth like it's state secret, spinning her story so the public only sees perfection. But in the shadows, the lies still whisper, and the cracks in the empire grow louder every day. To the world, she's the picture of power, a confident, unstoppable woman who built her own throne and rules it with style, the ultimate symbol of independence and success. But those who've seen the truth up close tell a darker story. Behind the flashbulbs and red carpets stands someone trapped in a cage made of gold, every move watched, every decision guided by unseen hands. She looks free, but her strings are being pulled with icy precision by the man who shaped her destiny. Even the Chris Brown chapter, once seen as a wound that defined her pain, has turned into part of her playbook. It's the one story that always works in her favor. She's the survivor, he's the villain. The narrative wins hearts, shields her from scrutiny, and fuels her power. But deep down, it's way more complicated than anyone dares to admit. Somewhere along the line, she stopped being just a survivor. She became part of the system itself. Rihanna knows the truth about the empire, about the people who built it, and about the wreckage left behind, the rumors, the broken lives, the silence that keeps it all intact. She's seen it all, but instead of tearing the mask off, she keeps it in place, protecting the same power that once controlled her. That silence, it's more than fear. It's loyalty, profit, and maybe guilt, all wrapped together. Every award, every headline praising her as a self-made queen feels like a cover story for something deeper. Those who've been close enough to glimpse the real picture see it clearly. A woman caught in a web of influence, torn between survival and conscience. Her success comes at a heavy price, a soul slowly eaten away by the very system she now sustains. The world may see her as untouchable, but behind that perfect image lies someone imprisoned by her own empire. The story isn't finished, not even close. The real ending hasn't been written yet, and when it comes, it might rewrite everything we thought we knew about her power, her silence, and her truth. Sooner or later, the truth will break through. The lies can't stay buried forever, and when they surface, the Carters will finally face the storm they built. The machine is cracking, its perfect mask falling apart under the weight of its own corruption. Rihanna's place in all of this still hangs in the air. Will she keep protecting the empire, or will she step out of the shadows and finally tell the truth? That answer lies deep within her, buried under layers of fear, guilt, and survival. The world watches, waiting to see if she'll choose freedom over fame, redemption over silence, and hovering over it all is the ghost of Aaliyah, the name that still sends chills down the industry's spine. Her defiance, turning away from Jay-Z's control, might have cost her everything. A plane crash, they said, but too many believe it was more than bad luck. A message sent to anyone who dared to say no. Even DeHaven, once a trusted friend, learned that lesson hard. He saw too much, knew how the empire was really built, the deals, the danger, the secrets buried under diamond lights. When he tried to walk away, to speak out, the machine chewed him up and spat him out. It's a brutal reminder. In this game of power, silence isn't loyalty, it's survival. He was cast out, reputation shattered, life hanging by a thread. DeHaven became a warning, proof of what happens when you cross the empire. Dame Dash, once Jay-Z's right-hand man, faced the same fate. He saw the manipulation, the exploitation, the control over young women inside Jay-Z's circle, and he couldn't stomach it. Walking away meant losing everything: money, legacy, respect, but it also meant freedom from a world built on moral decay. Yet the industry made sure to erase him, his name wiped from the story, his achievements rewritten, his voice drowned out by loyalists defending Jay-Z. The world saw him as the bitter ex, never the whistleblower. And then there's Kathy White, the alleged mistress whose existence threatened the empire's perfect image. Pregnant, vulnerable, and suddenly gone. A fatal aneurysm, they said, but whispers say otherwise. Her death tied to the desperate need to keep the Carter name spotless, no matter the cost. Meanwhile, Chris Brown remains the public scapegoat, forever branded the monster, while the real power players stay protected, watching from their thrones of silence. His career is destroyed, reputation in ashes, and his name blacklisted across the industry. But was he truly the villain, or just another pawn sacrificed to protect the real power behind the curtain? The Carters continue to thrive, their empire celebrated while the rumors and accusations keep piling up. The industry looks away, too afraid, too invested in the lie to ever challenge the throne. Still, something's shifting. Victims are finding their voices, their stories echoing louder each day. The machine is breaking down, its shiny mask cracking under the pressure of truth that refuses to stay buried. Even the Carters can feel it, their control slipping, their image unraveling piece by piece. Now, all eyes are on Rihanna, the one person who holds the key to it all. Will she keep protecting the empire or finally step into the light and reveal everything? Her next move could decide not only her fate, but the downfall of an entire legacy. The stage is set, the truth is closing in, and the final act is about to begin. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe because you won't want to miss what's coming next. See you in the next one.